다지 취진지면 손을 조라 사제 쇼는 소지 조나마 장조바도 다는 저소지 다지 취진지면 조라반자 사제 조라 사제 장조바도 다는 저소지 다지 취진지면 조라반자 사제 조라 다야타 가데가데 바라가데 바라송가데 보디스 다야타 가데가데 바라가데 바라송가데 보디스 다야타 가데가데 바라가데 바라송가데 보디스 심지어 탐제도 토잘라나마 지바 산제 공부하는 거 진짜 토바자 대시든 장교선 발랍자 최저든 나와래 심보를 투고 토바라 투지쇼 마동가 거든 가서 봐봤다 가자.
So we set our motivation to do whatever we possibly can to attain the fearless state of enlightenment, knowing that to attain that state I must engage in the perfect practice of the Bodhisattva trainings. So in order to do this I need to have a good understanding, a perfect understanding of them, and that understanding must come in dependence upon a non-mistaken presentation. And so it is with this in mind that I am here this morning to listen to a teaching on the graduated path to enlightenment teachings. So the Nigewa Judy Lelam La Wane, because of the Zun shade.
당근에 남주 날씨 제잖아. 아니 초신 초신에做的다 간제자. 탑자를 투지시 못다 간제자. 또 버셔 투바다 라마. 뭐를 나게 진짜 자리 라마 이불 라마. 또 버셔 투바. 어디를 세다. 투바티 투가래. 왜세 된저 저한테는 아니 냥내 치라 규별 라마. 소다. 아니 되나 얘도 요라. 왜세 좋아라잖아. 아니 지금 자치 저기다 삼다 주다 맞지. 저 잠바나 마주가서. 아니 가서도 자치 저기 라마나 세다. 아니 제주 가서 잡배잖아. 맞잖아. 공부를 줬잖아. 되잖아. 다 같이 삼다 주 라마나. 근데 샴들 다 같이 가담게 라마티게티. 가담 라블이 바숑바바. 아니 명가 바티차. 이거다 가담 삼아 잡고 라마 종합의 준비한다 규바티 인스다. 어느 정도 랑게 자외 라마를 최종 모델 라마차. 어느 때는 다 규대식을 하죠다 맞지. 라메. 어느 때는 저주 내저주 자주잖아. 어디다지. 어느 산지 계속 개발다 산제동. 어느 때는 가서다 자주 쓰면서다. 가서다 다데. 어느 가서다 예세진 게라 수배 장세 파바는 좀 권해요 봐. 어느 때는 가서다 랑게체 아니 년도체 바오 컨트롤 최종 수마전다 그냥 저 가서다 초기시 마상 매버지 섬서 어디로 공부시 어디죠.
And so then, as usual, we set up the merit field in the space in front of us, starting with the main figure of the kind of enlightened, full of enlightened activities, and representative of our own root guru, the Guru Muninja Vajradhara, from whom then emanates light, which bring about all the other members of the merit field, starting with the those behind the main figure, representing the consecrated practices, lineage, and then on the left and right of the lineage of the profound view and the extensive practices lineages headed by respectively Maitreya and Asanga. And then also below them the representatives of the Kadampa lineages, being the three different groupings of the Kadampa lineages, and then of course Lama Tsongkhapa, head of the new Kadampa or the Geluk lineage, and then also surrounding the main figure are beginning with our own root guru, surrounded by all of the lineage gurus and the teachers from whom we have received teachings, and then also of course the four sets of the tantric lineages, the Anuttara Yoga Tantra, the Charya Tantra, and the Kriya Tantra. And that these are then followed by the members of the the set of Buddhas from the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eons, 35 Buddhas, and so on, and then the hearers, solitary realizers, and then the Arya Bodhisattvas, including the groupings of the 8 close disciples, or Arya Bodhisattvas, 8 close disciples of the Buddhas, etc., etc. And then from there we move into the hearers, the arhats, and then the dakas, dakinis, and the dharma protectors, so that we have the full complement of the merit field. And so that's so the within the grouping to the right of the central figure of the extensive practices lineage, of course, we're starting with Maitreya, with including then Arya Asanga, etc. And then on the left of the main figure, the profound view lineage, beginning with Manjushri, and including, of course, the likes of Nagarjuna, Chandakirti, and so on. Those are lamas pertinent to that lineage. And that's then the below them or near them. Then we have the different the 3 groupings of the Kadampa lineage, of course, being the scriptural lineage, the instructional lineage, and the Lamrim lineages. And that so we see then from the merit fields light emanating from the heart centers of all the members of the merit field, drawing forth the wisdom beings from their natural abodes, and these wisdom beings dissolve into the figures of the merit field, and we feel then that they are fully empowered and representative of all Buddhas. So then we can go through the making in line with the kind of graduated path generation of the graduated path merit field. Also the offering of the 7-limb practice together with mandala and the reciting of the 3 main purposes and so on, and making our offerings, making our supplications in this way.
어때지? 아니 되네 제베다 다 단다가 내가 들을 때 봐이나 다 녀송을 게임도 외면도 삼사체. 아니 녀송도 근데 삼다. 다 녀송을 타바 될라야 아니 잡로가 매버스 거죠. 아니 다 같이 잠도 되게 됐습니다. 그래. 다 잠도 전에 같이 보자나 잠도 랍잘 랍고 이거 인자 아니 다 렌데가 남샤 되게 돼. 레고도 와 어때지? 어때지?
And then we can do a quick glance meditation of the subject matter of the graduated path that we have covered thus far, beginning with how to relate correctly to a spiritual teacher, going through the different elements of the benefits of relating correctly to the spiritual teacher, the disadvantages of not relating to a spiritual teacher, the faults of relating incorrectly to a spiritual teacher, etc., etc., and moving on then to the subject matter of a precious human rebirth, looking at the 8 favorable conditions and the 10 endowments, and looking at how it possible to gain all those in order to be able to establish a precious human rebirth, and then thinking how this is very good, but of course it won't last long, it's fragile, that we must die, and then at the time of death, that we see that death is definite, that the time of death is indefinite, that the only thing that's of value to us at the time of death is a spiritual practice, how much we have established that practice throughout our lives, and that of course after death is not simply that we disappear, but that we must take another rebirth that depends on the karmic imprints on our minds, and we certainly want to avoid a rebirth in the lower realms, and so we go through the different sufferings. What are the consequences for us if we are reborn in the hells, in the hungry spirits, in the animal realms, and really developing a healthy fear and terror of being reborn there and having to experience that suffering, and wanting to be able to really find a release from that, or protection from that, and that really leads us to really seeking out an unmistaking refuge. And so this then brings us to the topic of refuge, how to rely on the triple gem as a reliable refuge, and that following the precepts of refuge, it really comes down to really abiding by the law of cause and effect, and so that brings us to that subject matter as well.
다 다른 미드베 동에 용대다 하고도 녀송을 게데 가리게 거르서나 다 라지 르가 이숨데 아니 다 가서도 르가 이숨데 아니 다 가서도 레니바사에 초를 교소나 아니 딜라데나 다 레니바사네 다 녀송을 게도에 동에 용대 중고도 와 녀한테 중고도 아니 녀송 먹어 미르데 토바이네 동에 용해데 야 아니 미게 조금 그 추진 마송할 때는 용대기도 호텔이죠.
And so we can see that very clearly from the point of view of the law of cause and effect, that the suffering that we do not desire, it comes about through our not having control of the actions emanating from body, speech and mind. And so it's this having these through generating non-virtues of body, speech and mind that cause us to be born in the lower realms, and therefore cause us to experience the suffering related to those lower realms. And so we've also know that even though we may attain rebirth as a human being, that nonetheless has its suffering as well, and that suffering can also be traced back to the non-virtuous actions of body, speech and mind. And so we have been looking at these specific 10 non-virtues in relation to the karmic path of the 3 related to physical actions, the 4 related to verbal actions, and the 3 related to mental actions. And we have briefly covered the first of these categories, those 3 related to non-virtuous physical actions, being the act of killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct.
다 되네 되네 다 가자자 다 되네 다 다다도 다 가자데 다는 거죠 다다데 가서 나거나 주 참아 직속 나게선다 시원되기도 어떻게
And so the next category are the non-virtues of verbal non-virtues, and they include lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and frivolous or pointless talk.
다 주마와 신에서 통화 퇴와 제자체와 넘버 쉐바 시다 텔레도바 시오시
And so we look at these, the karmic path in relation to basis, consciousness, affliction, motivation, application, and conclusion. And the basis for lying is that which is seen, heard, ascertained, or known, as well as the opposites of those.
텔레도바 시오사 다 뒤에서 통화라 마통화소 교와와 그래서 너무 바네서 독순가 롱서를 다 준시에들 되자고는 쉬셔봐요래 다 가게 차도가는 준시셔봐요 왔다 그래서 콜론에 뒤에 교대서 맞대봐 호시 맞대봐 호서 좋아네 마와 장미마와다 당돌래 봐 호서다 좋아들 준시에서도 인지문지 칭내 시에고 뭐 남주고 토네 파조도 다 고토와 제중으로 왔다 어떻게
And so that's then in terms of the consciousness, the recognition is that we say, something like "I didn't see," when in fact you did see something, and so your recognition is established there. The afflictive emotion can be any of the three poisonous. So you can lie in relation to desire, attachment, and hatred and ignorance. And the motivation is that you're after, you want to kind of alter the recognition and wanting to say something that is other than what you have seen, heard, ascertained, known, etc. Then the application, like when you undertake to actually lie. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use words here. You can lie by indicating something, like nodding your head and so on as well. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be spoken. And so then the conclusion is when the other has been convinced of what you have said or indicated. So that leads to the conclusion of that path.
구샵다 대대 라이체도 아니 지금 도바 유도도 전에 산제 그 사람도 도바 마게네 게유도도 돈이마도네 도유도 자주가 세면에 유도도 제 왔다 데데 셰발라 데네 아니 소소라 지금 가서 야는 지금 부와타고 쳐바타고 데다다 구샵타고 이지 용거를 sab자 왔다 데데 전 셰도도다 디 주치 보스기와 어떻게
And so, as you can imagine, there are many different levels of lie regarding to the seriousness of those lies. But according to the texts, the most serious lie is lying with regard to a spiritual attainment. And so this can be done in order to gain that others have this faith in you, or that you want to gain offerings from them or respect from them. But it's lying about what you have realized. So you might say, I've realized emptiness, or realized bodhicitta, or I've reached a certain path or ground on the paths and grounds. Anything like that is an extremely serious lie.
아니 지금 데네 미도 쓰고 요서도 내가 도 쳐야 돼. 담비 데네 매다 소소소 냠내 저 저도 시다시 내가 요 말과 뒤던데 다 지금 기계인도 지금 다 지지인도 지금 내가 또
So again, I'm saying this is a bit more dangerous for the likes of Dharma teachers and so on. So they have to really be careful. It's not such a problem for just normal lay practitioners or something like that.
sometimes the jamita고 된다 된다 투어와 저 그 송정거도 이래 되기도 아니 뭐me 송정거가 송정거 문도 다스나 아니 시라시라 인터레스팅 문도 송정거도 제거도 아니 그 집에서 정거를 받아 년가를 받아 도 년가를 와
고디
jam이 된다 리카시게 jam이 된다 리카시게 대와 괜찮지도 그 송정거도 했어 Statue speaking thing.
Yeah.
Gale sung jungdo. Sung jungdo 도 시라시라 초하면도. 다 된다는데 다 되게 준시에 내가 열었다. 숭 뭐전에 숭 중국도 시험은 뺏어가다.
So again, I was saying we've had experience in some Chinese teachers who.
No, teacher, no. Somebody lay people asking me.
Oh.
Or statue speaking you?
Yeah, does the statue speak to you? Does the Buddha actually, in the form of statue, actually speak to you, and like inform you, and that if you say no, then they don't seem to have any respect for what you are teaching. It's not good enough unless the statue actually says it. You know.
Yeah. One time say Anita. There are some friend bring 2 lady and one man. Man's okay. One lady asking me, the statue speak you? But
does the statue speak to you?
No, nothing speak me. She's not much interesting. It's very dangerous what to. And also I'm explaining, maybe very careful. Even somebody speaks statue speak, but that Buddha and non-Buddha not sure. Yeah, some non-human speak possible. Who knows? Some depending on what that. Then they get it. And kasi
it's a very big danger, isn't it? Because like if you have that sort of I guess naivety coming from like students who want to see that something extraordinary or special, then a teacher might actually be in danger of lying about things like that and say yes, I do hear things from the statues and this is what they say and so on, in order to garner their faith and their devotion, I suppose.
That's very dangerous.
Big danger.
That 가이나 메나 다 가자 저 똑바 메나 유에도도 아니 산제 마제네 제그 유에도도 아니 지금 된데 시아바이나 다 미슐람에 준체를 와 미슐람에 준체를 아니 다 똑바 동에 그 중군에도 되다 어떻게
And so that, just to reiterate, that those lies with regard to realizations, saying that one has realizations when one hasn't, that one is kind of enlightened when one isn't, and so on. These, of course, are the biggest of lies.
아니 지나 준 거리면 아니 지나 지금 디발라 지금 양 갑도를 지금 계좌 갑도 시에 먹는 계좌 또 스코어네 시에 잡고 되는 거로 와. 지금 다 지금 뒤에서 빼나 남주자라 빼나 리다 자긴 질레네 계좌 뒤에서나 카샤 지금 샤워 그래서 제 지대로 줬어야나 소소 통화이나 양 아니 계좌도 먹어 돈도 제잖아 아니 아들은 남식 기부 동안 쓰게 잡았던데다 인제 저는 봐 유여줘야 잡았던데 주시에 먹어야 탑시 지에 잡았던데 어떻게 요구를 왔다 어떻게 요구를
So that there are other instances where it may actually be advisable to not necessarily tell the direct truth, but to kind of distract somebody by not revealing the truth to them. For example, there's the case of the meditator in the forest, and a deer comes bounding past, and he sees the deer going in a certain direction, and a few minutes later a hunter comes, obviously hunting that deer, and asks which direction the deer went in. And so the meditator, rather than telling him, because that would be a great danger to the animal, merely kind of goes, "Isn't it a lovely day today?" let's distracting him into a different conversation so that he doesn't have to tell that lie or tell the truth in that way. And then of course there's a lying motivated by compassion, by genuine compassion. And so that doesn't really count as a negativity, because one is as a full lie, because one is motivated by something which is very positive.
잡아다 니제 군들라나 다 소소려 당전에 셰이나 다 들었다는 다 니바사주 살아 배용으로 와.
So that this is in a case where one is really focused purely on the benefit to the other, and so then one may lie to them, but one is taking on the full responsibility for one's actions, saying, I don't mind if I end up in the lower realms and have to experience the suffering there, but I just don't want this person to have to engage in negativity. So it's obviously in a certain context where the other is in danger of creating negativity, so you lie in order to prevent them from doing so, even though you know that it's a negativity for yourself. And so because, of course, when you think about it, we lie by and large for our own purpose, isn't it? We are lying out of embarrassment or of shame or trying to hide something. So it's all about me when it comes to lying in that way. So in this particular instance, one is really taking oneself and one's self-cherishing out of the equation, and one is really doing something which is really more beneficial. And so you need, so you need to have a certain quality to be able to do that with and to do that skillfully, of course, as well. Because you don't want to be just going, I'm lying all the time, but it's for the benefit of others.
로다 주의식의 주의식의 이지 라줘야 뭐 부족도 미 이지 라줘도 그 주의식의 여자 이지 라줘도 로와 지금 것도 안 가라줘라 답변은 체들을 찾아봐나 가라줘 이지 매바데 소수 정부 자세 지금에 이지 매바데 가서 겨왕가마데 봐서 소수 주의 뭐 보셔be 저부지 차대고 열와 남이 차대고 열와 이지 매바 용해.
And that we have to look also into the whole relationship between lying and a loss of faith, a distrust, and that so that we can see on the one hand it's a result of somebody being known as a liar, that people don't have any trust in that person, but also it must be understood in terms of our own distrust. If we have natural distrust with regard to anything, it's also related to a lying habit that we've had in the past.
그거 미디 그거 와라 소스 치바 이나다 그거 태바 이나 그거 태바 이나 미디 배두자가 그거 당 쓰여 봐 이나 운에 다네데 소스 냐마 깨와 냐마 그거 당 할 때는 다른 제부 용어 되게 도와 다야 섬서 그거 당에 소스 그거 당 하고 도와 안디야 소스 깨와 냐마 그거 마당에 제부지 용어 되게 도와 미디 그거 당 와이나 소스 그거 마디 버튼 용어 도와.
And so that's of course in also that if somebody has deceived us through their lies, and we come to understand that, our first impulse is to go, oh, they're a liar, such a liar. But we don't understand that the fact that we have been deceived is because we have deceived others in the past. We have done this many times ourselves, and this is a result of that. And so we have to make sure that we, when it comes to our being deceived, that we have a part in that deception also.
다른 거저 말아서 구마데데 소소 잘라 구마 자와다 지전도 합다도 구마데 두자래 삼사래데 이나요 소소 구마게 잘라 고야 고갑 중은 구마 꾸네 소소 잘라 배 매바 차줘도 소소 레드 사요라서 겨가면 소소 된데 제가 임바인서 제부 녀티도 와.
And so the same goes for, say, theft. If we have been the victim of theft, that we're often extremely negative with regard to that thief. What a terrible thing! What a horrible person! But we have to understand that the very opportunity to have our stuff taken by a thief has been created by our stealing in the past, and this is a natural result of that.
what 되게 심배 톤네 되게 심배 톤네 제가이나 아니 구마자긴들 컨트롤사주서 인지게 정도 와.
And so by knowing that, by really understanding that, we can substitute the anger for the thief with actual compassion for their actions. And likewise, when it comes to the liar who deceived us, that we can substitute our anger for the compassion for them. And so that by putting that in the context of, in the past I certainly have deceived others, and this is why I am being deceived now, and therefore I can understand that this person who is lying to me, they will have to experience such suffering in the future. Therefore, they have to be an object of compassion. And so that if we can take it to the point of really saying, I will never lie, I'll do my best to never lie until I die, that would be very good to do it in the form of a vow, even better, because then one is accumulating the benefit of not lying, of not lying while whatever one is doing, whatever one is doing throughout the day and even sleeping. So the next the verbal non-virtue is divisive speech, and here the basis for divisive speech can be either those who are in harmony or those who are not in harmony, whichever is appropriate, because divisive speech can distance those who are in harmony, but further estrange those who are already in disharmony. Sorry. No. So again, this is not necessary to actually use speech in order to undertake divisive speech. That one can cause divisiveness in other ways, in actions and so on.
남조 먹고 간소라 라바가 토네 모터 테스트와 그래 라바가 토네 남주고 토네 아니 그게 시에스도와 가서.
And so that people use a lot of hand signals when they're
people 좀 take that. 가서 남조 먹거나
Oh, sorry. That's for those who are deaf, using yeah.
tele 연구도 와도 왠지 뭔지 개시하거든.
What is
그걸
Sign
Sign
language.
산랭.
Yeah.
어디서 딱까지 남주부터 못하지. 와다 다 어디서 다들 개야다 지금 지자로 뭐 마시고 쳤지면서 어디서 지금 또 용, 레라고 연구도 하고 저 남주 지소나 되게 여래. 아니 기대서 세계라야 점점 미치기 지지스기도 니니서 소소 남매가 돈에 아니 못 봐서 용 되기도. 이제 이제 꿀롱다 되는 요구무다 손도 못 봐서 기대서 돈에 용 되기도. 용 되기도. 어디
And so it's remarkable actually how easily this harmony, this device of speech can happen. That even when we're just engaged in normal conversation, just talking, even unbeknownst to ourselves, we can create distance, we can cause disharmony.
Sambala sumle asa tuisheda nyomo bada ngashinda kulone asa tubala yendo bada mitumba na mitumba tubata mitumba te ane tumu meba mutune tumu meba sote joane asa nyamba de minyamba kanro asa da tsinyamba shewanda minyamba shewanda lugi namju tamba ineta ta kanja de wate de joate de 타도 네 아니 제베 칭마 고 스타디 돈다도 고트라이트 다 칭이나 카리나 티 돈다도 고트라서나 아세 어떻게
And then the different characteristics, different aspects of this path, and so that we see the basis is that those that are in harmony are already in disharmony, and that of the consciousness element, recognition, is as previously, and the mental afflictions are as previously described for the other non-virtues. The motivation can be to cause division amongst those who are in harmony, or to wish that those who are in disharmony are not reconciled. And so the application is the use of either pleasant or unpleasant words to bring it about, and the conclusion is when the others have acceptance of these divisive words, an understanding of them.
칭소네 신의 군의 나름 계획 시주에 심전으로서 다가서 칭소보다 먼저 제 칭소의 신의 군의 나름 계획 시주에 심전으로서 녀몽보다 두시는 가시노서 콜론에 가주고 마되고서 가주고다 들지 가주고서 들을 쓰는 뇌도서 가주고서 이제 칭니 수고스다 인고 말에 칭니 보시네 쓰는 뇌 같은 용을 왔다 간제 들을 뇌도와치 들을 뇌되게 치고든 뇌도 보고죠 조안에서 대바다 밑에 제 강론제 조자 내면에 강로 줘봤다 어때 그와라신 강론제 칠마 보고서 타도네 팔을 보고 저 어때지
The next of the verbal non-virtues is harsh speech, and the basis here is a sentient being's basis for an attitude which is inflicting strong torment, and that the elements of the mental affliction and the recognition are, as has been previously described. The motivation here is the desire to say hurtful words, and that the application is the saying of that which is true, can be either true or not true, can be pleasant or unpleasant, can be for one's own purpose or for another's purpose. And the conclusion is simply when the other gains an understanding of what has been said. And similarly here to others, the words, has been said, don't have to be actually harsh words. One can complete harsh speech through using very beautiful words.
ngajewe shine so deme bata debe no so ta kanche samba tushe nyomo ne ngashi no so kolone kasa kolone matewe jungye matyo ba wo so joane ngaje ma ho so ba wo so ta do ne ngaje mas ba wo che
And then the final verbal non-virtue is pointless talk, idle gossip, and that here the basis is any speech that is frivolous or meaningless, and the in terms of the consciousness elements, the recognition and the mental afflictions are similar to those previously explained. The motivation here can be the wish to continuously engage in irrelevant talk. The application is the actual initiation of the particular frivolous or pointless talk, and the conclusion is having engaged in frivolous or pointless talk. And so the main issue with this frivolous or idle gossip is that it's a terrible way of wasting time, and it is normally only furnishing the increase of attachment, of anger, and it is counteractive to the whole purpose of controlling the mind, because it is something that leads to a distracted attitude. And so that covers the first of the two areas of physical non-virtue and verbal non-virtue, being a grouping of 3 and 4, making a 7, the 7 of body and speech. And so there remains then the 3 mental non-virtues of covetousness, malicious intent, and wrong view.
다 이나야 즉 가소래다 류권의 숨당 나권의 시대야 즉 가소대 게세 단위 쳐볼라야 셰드집에 양라도 좋았더니 용되게 요래 다 낙심다 뇌심 록다서 다 출려 좋아 싸워니는 용하다.
And so there is a distinction made between the first 7 of these 10 and the final 3. And say for beginners like us, we can simply understand all 10 as being always completely negative, and that they are always non-virtuous, they are always faulty. But for higher practitioners, that the first 7 relating to physical actions and the verbal actions, they are not necessarily negative. They can have be done with a with skillful means, and of course a mind of complete virtue. However, these final 3 here, the mental non-virtues, are always negative, no matter who is engaging in them.
미조랑 차태वर 어디에 전 어디 낙습 뉴스 록다시 소도도 낙습니 생기 놀라 노다 요제 생기 노다 요제 어디 시티라 안에 삼발라 뒤셰다 뇨모는 나신호서 뒤셰 다시는 노이 뭐 뒤셰 뇨모는 나신호서 어디다 독수가요보다 꿀론에 다게자 어디봐 오자다 그래 낙심스도다 생긴 노르들 왔다부터 이제 약부터 삼사지나 아니 들어졌다 말아 죽나
So the first of these 3 is covetousness, and that here the basis is another's wealth or possession, and the recognition and the mental affliction are, as has been previously explained, and the motivation is the wish that that particular object could be mine. So it's that sort of thinking about it first of all, and others, some others' possession, and then the idea, oh, I wish I had that.
다 노르다 요체스 다 노르데 요체스 아 다가니 시기 신게 사다 신게 충마 이런 거로 다 되게.
So this can also relate to another's partner, that one may covet the other's wife.
어떻게 쳤다? 그래다 지금 바라데 사상 바라 차에 담고도 어디 약을 통 어디 말을 중나데 아니 갈리 제 고고 당제 술래 지고 와야.
So it starts like that. That's covetousness, and then one engage in all of the actions of deception to draw that person, for example, if it's another person's partner, in so that they become your partner.
Yeah, what's 미 소소 미 야보면에 미 야보인 도도 제전든 상부인
So yes, so that if that person, of course, is though not a good person, their whole objective is to appear like they are, perfectly saintly and a really nice person. So they're constantly, putting on the smarmy attitude of pretense in order to get what they want. So this is how covetousness works.
어디를 딱 지금 야보 통한 저거래 야보도 야보 나를 거반에 이제 코로나에 거래했어 소소로 거반에 미셸을 거반디 아니 90채네 미셸을 거고 유바들한 게 10배 돈 딱 나를 거고도 코로나에 딘내시 거래 야보래 코로나 중사 야보래 삼사채 다가 잠라 셈 샤샤에는 역사 요 말와.
So that's the main, the kind of the correct attitude, of course, is to appreciate what another has and to have respect with regard to that, and say, yes, that what that person has is something which is very good, and that's very good for them. I'm glad that they are. That's what they have. That it's kind of happy for them, and that to leave it like that, and leave it the mind like that, is the best attitude.
나를 거반에시 코로나에 고그래 나라 야부 고고도 이는 나라 야부 거반에시 코로나 야부 고고도 근데 되게도 삼사절로.
And to also think, I want good things, and just like I want good things, then I appreciate that other people want good things as well, and that the fact that they have them, I can appreciate that. That's something wonderful for them, and that may they enjoy that.
내가 말아서 지가서도 지금 대바 침묘취 냠내 지금 지마 있는 대바 침묘취였다나 어장에 심지 탐제를 펴봐 두고 있어. 아니 코로나 펴봐 두게겐 펴봐 두에 여제라서 봐도 코로나 상계도 녀로 봐 제보 코로나 상계도 다 약으로 와서 제쪽으로 와.
And that in terms of the Mahayana attitude, of course, we are wanting to bring benefit to all sentient beings. And so when we see somebody who has possessions that bring them contentment, can bring them satisfaction, that is fulfilling the very objective of our practice. So it's something that we should really appreciate, that they have everything complete for themselves and they're very happy with what they have. That's really wonderful. And they may dedicate so that they may become the actual facilities or the actual necessities for perfect spiritual practice for them. So with that attitude, no trouble will arise.
뇌셈네 시다 뒤셰 뇨모네 직주 지다와 신호서도 꿀로네서 대발로 수비 되바대서다 조안에 삼바텔라 조아자와 오서 뭐지바소에 조아자와 타도네서 타도네 수여바다 징바다 대바소 제바 타제와 오체고들지. So
then the application of that is to act on that wish, and the conclusion is that to really employ some means to make another's possession your own. And then the malicious intent, the basis, the recognition, the mental affliction are very similar to those basis, recognition, and mental affliction for harsh speech. So it's the sentient being's basis for an attitude inflicting strong torment. And so the motivation here can be desire to inflict harm through physical beating, etc. The application is the engagement based on that intention, and the conclusion is that when one engages in the act of killing or binding or beating, etc., and that one has made the actual decision to go ahead with that.
nga sanje kuma tobala dila tena sanke gore dila madeba sanke yo mare samsache ruwata semje dila tena ane di ane nga sanje kuma tubere ta dila tena ta tukku yo ba isa nga sanje kuma tobda ma tobda dila rale gre samsache wa dele che en sem nyebu chung ko de ro rashi ge sem nyebu chung na dila anje khondro sa ya ta shedan ke ta ne sem yo ya de ko yo sa ko yo mare wa
So
lesson ske on de so so digi di ngal never kegre di never maso ngal ne kegre nga ma ki ba so gre dile tene an lesson yo de to di ngal pen to gre samsa che on de lesson ke tu marwa.
So that's this attitude of malice is one can see it creates unhappiness for oneself and for others. You can see there's no winner when one has that kind of a malicious intent. So it's very, very important that we generate the very opposite point of view with regard to sentient beings, and to really see how, you know, everyone we meet, every sentient being we know is actually essential for me to be able to create the causes to attain enlightenment. And the very fact is that for whether I attain enlightenment or not depends on this sentient being. And so we have to generate that idea that they are, you know, not just an ordinary other sentient beings, but really my hope for the attainment of enlightenment. Because it really depends on how I behave towards them, whether I can create the causes for enlightenment. So when we understand sentient beings like that, that they are really the chance for benefit, they have this kind of whole beneficial aura around them for us. There's very little chance of having any malicious intent towards them.
아니 저 소소라 준비 뇌게 와다 책두자 마와다 아니 통중 제와 된소 충중 자로 같은 딜라 되는 게 산제 고마 톱토에 네 딜라 맞대 막 탑요 말 삼사체도 안딩에 산제 그 고마 톱에 규인바 시야오나 아니 딜라 마고바케도 거 용사면서 마고바케도 마용 이마이나 아니 녀sem도 용도고 말와.
And so again, like this can be very much applied to those who are close and around us all the time as well, that we have to be very clear that these people are the essential to my being able to attain, lay down the causes to attain the state of enlightenment. It's absolutely critical how I behave towards them, and because they have this basis of benefit for me to attain enlightenment, and that with that we can avoid even the casual levels of disrespect that we might show, or having a negative criticism towards them, or looking down on people like that, or anger towards them, because none of those are in harmony with creating the causes for enlightenment.
다 되게 더한데 아니 거기 내가 먼저 섬서 같이 못해 삼로도 마 통마도 아니 중중지라 되는 마게 받자는 녀석 기억도 와 같이 못해 삼로 마고 왔지.
So that when we lose that kind of very broader perspective, the bigger picture, but we kind of just center onto the immediacy of the relationship in question, that we can allow like disparaging or scorn or disrespect and so on to enter into our attitude, whereas the bigger picture is that these people are essential to my ability to whether I attain enlightenment or not.
다 되게 되신 바이나 아니 심지어 수인 바이나 백갱그로 인해서 월라비 인해서 수인 바이나 심지어 통하다 뒤 검시 자주 심 정말 출로도 받다 그냥 바부터 받다 출로 고발에 잡는데 심지어 잠을도 하다 그냥 기대 심이라서 심지어 수통화 있는 바이나 심을 뺐대 오나 산제 고마 톱에 딜라데는 톱고 그랬어 신 탑시 요 말에 삼자 왔다 되게 다 심지어 탐제기라 때문에 아는 산제 고마 톱고 그도와 아니 초주 대배 산제 다다외 산제 마음의 산제가 심지어 딜라 때문에 아니 투게 람라 뭐봐 저 산제 말에 나의 딜라 때문에 심게 람라 뭐봐 저 산제 거 팀마다 탑시 요 말에 삼사께한테 로로 검주나 그 뒤에 검주다 아니 심지어서 심단이 뭐 좋은데 그러와.
So this is a really question of developing a complete, fail-safe habit of being able to regard all sentient beings with this attitude of complete appreciation for the potential that they offer me. And whether this is a kangaroo or a wallaby or in the park, we're looking at dogs, cats, it doesn't matter. We just have this, try to bring to mind that, it's so important for me to be able to relate in the most enlightened way possible towards these animals and all other sentient beings, because they are my hope for the laying down of these causes to attain enlightenment. There is no other alternative. It's really how I behave in relation to other sentient beings, whether it depends on that as to whether I attain enlightenment or not. And so all the Buddhas of the past, the Buddhas that are attaining enlightenment now, and those for the future have done it the same way. This is the way, the habit that they have developed, the preciousness of all sentient beings. And that so here, to engage in that, to be able to develop that mind of enlightenment itself, I need to develop this very powerful habit. At the moment I see any other sentient being, that this tremendous sense of appreciation arises in my mind.
먼저 지난 두주두 검자 칸두체 개체 모르데 이네 딜레 개체도 뭐서 출로 마도데 이네 심지어 수투와 이네 수투와 이네 베네 쇼핑 센터 가봐도 수투와 이네 sem나 란자 진체 마켓 심지어 스파차도 아니 딜레 때는 가 산제 고마토비 두고고요레 아니 삼서 어데 딩에 산제 고마토비 큐데서 로라 인데체 좀 삼로 리미다오 tana samlo tangje wa de je so to na ta ti kune ka so da ngo su ko la leng ko ne an samlo kyo tang tab chi to yo ra ta pen practically na sida di ba what it.
So that's as well as good as the meditation practices we do, the prayers we do, and so on. What's even more beneficial is when we are outside and we are amongst sentient beings, that we are in the shopping center or wherever we are, that we are constantly reminding ourselves as to the great kindness of other sentient beings, and that they are like the essential to my being able to create the causes to attain enlightenment. And we really have to fuel our thinking in this way. And if we can, it will be the most essential kind of practice, the practical practice that we can possibly perfect. It's very, very important for us. And so as the Master Shantideva has so expertly pointed out, that the Buddhas and sentient beings are equal in their kindness towards us. But why do we show so much respect and faith towards the Buddha, but we look down on sentient beings? What kind of spiritual tradition is that?
That's advice
for us. to really adjust our attitudes.
semjen디 semda nyeboja ngozo ngoshiba yingo mare ngoshiba yingo drobo yingo mare ine soso semgidane ane kanga semda nyebo sogo yina ane ko rangi nyamnende ane pyuta ta dogurwa.
And so that's, that person doesn't have to be somebody who's close to us, it doesn't have to be somebody that we recognize, but the very fact that they are a sentient being is enough for us to automatically recall their great kindness. And by being able to develop that as a kind of an automatic habit with us, it's going to bring tremendous benefit to our mind.
Samba la sumle dushene kuwa debe dola ane deba du sheba woche nyomo ne se to sungar sung gangrong wosa kulo ne kuwa deba wocho ne samba dela jowa zaba wosa tato ne kuwa deba ngeba wosa.
Wrong view. The basis for wrong view is that must be something which exists. The consciousness element is it that you perceive as true that which is contrary to the truth, and the motivation is you wish to deny that which is true. The mental affliction can be any of the three poisonous minds. The deed or the application is that you indulge in that intention, and the conclusion is that you reach a certainty with regard to that which is contrary to the truth.
다 록다 쓰도 다 베나 지난 줄로 소소 록다 대시 게다 도스 미다 용구여 다 미다 용구여 다 미다 수치부 용구라 도스 보고 미다 수치부 용구 그 다위 잡대 미다 와 다 가서 다들 남배 중에 록다 쓰도 애껴와 같이 매봤다 와 레드 매봤다 와 어다 되서라 타바다 탐지 좀 매봤다 와 레주데 매봤다 와 어다 되거 록다데 될 어다.
And so that in terms of what counts as specific wrong views, of course, the different spiritual traditions have a variety of variations on what is wrong view, because they have a variety of tenets and so on. In Buddhism, wrong view counts as really somebody who is denying outright the existence of past and future lives, the veracity of the law of cause and effect, that enlightenment is possible, etc. And they are regarded as wrong views because, of course, all of these act as obstacles to the attainment of liberation or the enlightened, omniscient state of enlightenment.
다 가빌레 람니에서 속조 방에 겨왔다 볼라처나 신의 심진 신노 삼반니에서 님이 통내서 방법 되고 좋아니 쇠와 양발 담에 뒤제바고 다 타도네 양다바 담바 조베 류게 레소서 데가빌레 람 사마콜라야 지리과 샤바쇼 다티네 시제다 도저도 되네 시제 어떻게.
Then, so that completes the karmic paths for the 10 non-virtues, and so now you can look at the path of karma for virtuous actions, and that these really are the opposites of the non-virtues. So if we look at the non-virtue of killing, for example. The virtue would be, of course, the abandoning of any act of killing, and so here again the basis is another sentient being, and the recognition is that through one seeing the fault of killing, one wishes to give it up, to abandon that. And the application is that the conscious resolve to refrain from any act of killing, and the conclusion is that the perfect restraint, which becomes an actual equivalent to a karmic action of the body, where one completely restrains oneself from engaging in any act of killing, and that the other 9 virtues are similar. One can extrapolate that they are similar and they're dealt with in the same way.
다 간제 지금 간제 추점 송송세데 추점 송송세데 아니 디 예미디가 통해도네 아니 디 예미디가 통해도네 아니 가서도 다다디 미게주의 예미 통해도네 아니 domne 아니 디 고가 개화주의 편유 통해도네 디 고디 치에들라 아니 추점 송세가 와
And so ethics, when we talk about ethics and ethical conduct, we really are. This is coming down to the nuts and bolts of it, by seeing the faults of certain actions like these 10 non-virtues, and then the act of really conscious restraint from engaging in those non-virtues. And on conversely, also seeing the benefits of engaging in the opposites of the non-virtues, the virtues, and by then promoting our engagement in those virtues.
지나자 되게 가서라다 간제 지금데 가서라다 미게 주본 거 수정스거든 지금 여러 그 줘봐 차대어라 지den기 여러 그 가서다 조다지 차대도 같이다 여러 그 줘봐지.
And so that the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues is often referred to as the worldly correct behavior. Very how do you say? Yeah, worldly correct behavior.
Right, when I was so chavaina, that been chesa mila so what in the so chavaina, Zongan Dora, Rakuma Javana, Zongan Dora, what tip the mituba. Because of the Casota, Chicken picture about the Mituba, Loyam Chavaina, John Jogo Yungu Yorwa. What that get Yungu Data? And what that Chicken the Deg Casota Najala so Jula so what is it? Me Yagas get Sigmarwa. Chida me chicken, Chitan Jotan, me I was get Sigmarwa, Taco Yorata, Jotante, Sigmarwa. What did Nedam Butcher dead until let the Noctam Butcher go that go over what.
And so it's like more or less like they're commonly held good behaviors. I mean, that is the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues, because of course even by general law killing and stealing and so on are forbidden, and if we engage in them we'll go to prison, and for various sexual misconducts as well. And so nobody really likes liars or those who are using harsh speech or divisive speech and so on. And so these are commonly held behaviors that are better not engaged in.
가서 답에 취차르고도 다 기부팅 취차르고도 다디 제네 산제 고바 토에 제도 아니 대바집에 취차르고도 지난 지내 여러 붙여 봤지 직대에 붙여 봤지 다디 철을 주에테 아니 녀석의 지 동엘에 지네 아니 델레 껴베 다 델레 다 껴베 내가 산제 유바 지네 아니 미게 주봉 산제 취기도 유바 이 집에 이지가 더네 아니 이제 토리 대화 된도 내잖아 지금 소화이나네 토리 고바자 기부 중을 자주도 다 디자를 팽금도 타바자 마다원 다 대야 코아레 동행라시에 타바토고 쓰다 아니 제어도 타베 줄어 줘대 다 랑주가 타바토나 하사에도 심지어 탐제거도 산제 고바 주본데 팽금도 삼로다네 아니 대체도 미게 주본 것처럼 산제 줄어 줘대 다 되는 용되기도 하고 되는.
And so the refraining from, or the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues is regarded as the commonly held, good behaviors and desirable behaviors. But of course, when we put our particular spiritual motivation into it, they become more than that. They become spiritual activities, of course, as well. And depending on our motivation, for example, we can motivate to, avoid the lower realms, and so we engage in the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues for that reason, or we want to attain a liberation from cyclic existence, and we engage in the ethics for based on that motivation, or we want a motivation to attain the omniscient state of enlightenment, and so our actions become Mahayana actions. And so here, of course, these related to the three capacities or scopes of being, such that with the initial elementary capacity being, they want to attain positive rebirth as a human being or a celestial being, and so they will engage in the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues in order to, on the one hand, avoid rebirth in the lower realms and to attain that positive or fortunate rebirth. And then the medium capacity being will have a broader motivation, understanding that some sort of rebirth in cyclic existence is not desirable because it always means suffering, because samsara is in the nature of suffering, and so they're motivated to engage in the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues in order to attain liberation from cyclic existence entirely. And then the greater capacity practitioner is now not just interested in liberation for him or herself alone, considering that to be incomplete and somewhat selfish, because all mother sentient beings are out there in the same boat suffering, and so they want to engage in the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues in order to lay down causes to attain enlightenment, complete enlightenment. And then in relation to this topic of karma, it says that karma becomes more powerful depending on for different other characteristics. It can be more powerful independent upon the field, it says. So it depends upon whom one is engaging in karma towards. And that they can be more powerful in terms of the mentality or intention that one engages with, and it can be more powerful in terms of the object and more powerful in terms of the basis.
다 신기권의 dobche와네 다 가제 dobche와네 군조 숨다 아니 라마다 아니 파말라 소바다 가제 라라 지금 편도치 뭐 요긴다 로아다 가서 펜치 뭐 요긴 펜 오다 펜치 뭐 요긴라 다저 네바제나야 디고 dob치 뭐 사예 다 편바 충조 좀 맞아 봐이나야 안 딜라드네 겨워 dob치 뭐 사예 오든지 오든 요데도 오든지
And so the first of these is the field or the person towards whom one is engaging in acts of benefit or acts of harm, indeed. That makes the karma far more powerful. These include the triple gem of Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, one's guru, one's parents, etc. Those who hold a high position in one's life. That even small acts, for example, of virtue, done towards any of these will produce, it counted as a great, powerful virtue.
Sambanije Tabu Soda, and Shetan Tabu Soju Kone, Jebata Topcheva, in the Sambequanea, Topcheju Yontage. Topcheju said, you gonna Chugomaya, Sambequanea, Topcheju Keva Yontage. Sambabena, Ninja Gunelan Chevaina, Keva Chunju Majabana, Keva the Topchebu Yontage. Rapena, Chicaso the Bennett. 지우다 원전대절 지금 가서다 잡야 권을다 제외 권을하네 지금 그거저 닝제 권을하네 지 클래스 잡이나다 야 다가 남매전 잡아지 클래스 잡아 집어를 거 페미미다 용태지 똑치 심지 탐제도 산제 고마도 외쳐도 다 바제도 거 쉬고 똑치 뭐 용태지 잡아다 닝제 때 권을한테 그러다 어든지 아니 아직 가서다 저기 다 셰단라서 봐 콘도라서 봐야 숙청부겠는데 저번에 봐 내가 개발이네 내가 충조지는 뭐도 맞게 봐나 그 셰단도 콘도 숙청부 되기 때문에 아니 디벨롭 좀 사태지 요 되기도 소주 거네 아니 제바도 돕체와자 다 뭐베고네 돕체와네 아니 가서 지제 최다 상생 개바도 파고 지바 돕체와자 다야 뭐 삐다로 거네다 자치로 거네야 요지를 와도 뭐베고네 돕체 줘 최다 상생 개바도 파고 지바 돕체와자 다 땡겨 거네서 다 땡고네서도 다 란냠네 지게 코나 다 도보숨 됐어요 거네 아니 가서 기디 간제자 돕체와다 냠네 지게 코라다 쏟아고 도바 요바자 장생자 상가 도바 요바이나 아니 야 지금 땡겨 거네요 돕체야 용대죠 니마차 용대지 어디를 용대죠 어디 매바이나야 대사가 뭐요 해치고 랑게 다 도베 니발때 랑귤 유베 도바til라 때냐 레 돕체 줘 요하지 네바사네 네바 돕체 못 사야 개와사바네 돕체 뭐 요하지 어디 집어치자 좀
So the next way in which karma can be far more powerful is the motivation, really, the intention with which one engages in a particular action. And so here it discusses, really powerful compassion, or even the powerful hatred. And so here it's kind of like if one is giving even a small, doing a small virtuous action. Say giving a morsel of food to a bird, for example, that one can do that with a motivation of real compassion. One can do that just by not thinking about anything in particular, just giving them some food. And so to say that there's quite a difference in the benefit, the virtue that one accumulates. If one does it with great compassion, the virtue is far more powerful. And so that's important to take into consideration. The same occurs for harm, that if one is really doing something not very negative, but putting a lot of hatred, bitter anger into it, that then makes it a much more serious negativity by the same token. So it's very, very important in that in that sense to be able to have the proper motivation. And then the another way in which karmas are made more powerful is through the object that one is giving, for example, in the context of generosity. And so here there is a distinction between the giving of dharma and the giving of material goods. So the one is more powerful than the other. But of course also in terms of the quality of what one is giving. So that's in terms of it's not just intention. It's not just the one to whom you are giving, but the actual quality of what's being given also means that it creates a greater or lesser karma. And then the final way is saying powerful in terms of the basis. And here it's really talking about practitioners, and the basis means the basis of there being a basis for vows. And so those holding any of the three categories of vows, the pratimoksha, the bodhisattva, or the tantric vows, that any actions of benefit or harm done to those are more powerful.
아니 다 추에게 심바다 되게 지발에도 추게 지바다 산세게 지바는 추게 지바 돕체와체 산세게 되와 아니 어떤 산세래 산세 뿌다 체중 요것도 어떤 지바 돕체중 요것대 지바잖아 소소로 먹어야 지바이나 소소에 개 첨부지 지에지 아니 셀라 고고 요번에 받지바던 돕도차 요되겠지 지발에 돕체중 요걸 와다 산세고네 지발 추기 집어지나 산다 추기 집어 돕자와 되는 산생래야 야 낭세기야 개발 연구와 같이 버치는 거 말이야. 아니 뒤에 아니 파트는 주 레와 매버진. 파트 할 때는 주 구셔 레와 잡았던데도. 야 토지치에 레와 잡았던데도 어디네 레와 매버진. 집어이 돕자요 되지. 돕자요. 뒤에 안에 다 고로 타바다 탐지제다. 로가 연구로 딱 이제 어디는 돕체 좀 되거나 그래서 땡기권의 돕체 좀 아니 가서 삼백권의 돕체 좀 아니 가서 땡기권의 돕체 좀 뭐비권의 돕체 좀다 돕체 좀 들어 민다고 용 되겠다. 안 되게다 라기와 삐다버지 쪽이나 아니 되게 차상 튼게 참을 토네. 아니 가바투바이나 삐다가 연구해야 돼. 아니 예처부 쓰잖아. 아니 믹스게 답을 가서 갑도 저와다 소소 파말라 소바도 또 내가 같이 붙여 되기도 와. 아니 계속 개치 못 쓰네. 안 간투도 그 구샵지에 세고지에 펜바 주비에. 개치 못 쓰는 제다 개치 버리다 말아서 대 두투에 제와. 미션발 펜바 주서 도스 가보다. 대 파만 예 소소 파만 임바 인상 거 도스 줍대야도와. 어때가 되게 아니 좋아이나다. 진짜 맞은 심지어 다른 얘기 레가 온게 저와 땅을 국갑적으로 삼사잖아요. 펜바 주비에 당. 제 솔직히 개치 못해도.
And so that's just to clarify in regard to the object being creating a more powerful karma. Here it's both in terms of the giving between the giving of material things and the giving of dharma teaching. It's more powerful to give dharma. But then within the giving of material things, then it depends on the value of that material things, and the value depends on really how precious you hold it. So it's like you can give something of great value, but you don't really care for it yourself. That's not a very powerful act of generosity. But if it's something that you really hold as precious yourself, that's very important for you, and you're able to give it, that is a greater powerful act of generosity. And that here it's and again, to be able to give, for example, without any expectation of getting anything in return, that makes that giving more pure, and so the karma is more pure. Or you're not expecting a big thank you, for example, for what you have done or what you have given. That again creates a more pure karma, and that there's no payback or anything expected from you. That creates a better karma. So overall, what these really are indicating, whether it's really because of the person to whom you are acting, towards whom you are acting, the motivation that you bring to the action, the object that you are giving, and the basis of vows and so on that people have, it's really saying to really to improve our general attitude to sentient beings in general, but also especially to, for example, those whom we are in contact with every day, like parents and so on, and that we should really upgrade our whole attitude towards people like our parents, and so that everything we do towards them has a certain pristine quality, virtuous quality to it, and that our behaviors and actions are very, very concise, careful and precise with regard to them. And I see that as really, really important, because of course to benefit all sentient beings like this is kind of beyond us, but those who we are with on a regular basis, this is where we can improve our behaviors. And so to understand that, we put that in the context through through karmas. Obviously, we have this connection of child and parents, or whatever that close connection is, and so to really say is significant. That's really important to recognize, and for that reason, I will see everything I do towards them as a great opportunity for me. And I must take that opportunity to be able to benefit their lives, so that I can attain the state of enlightenment and so on with the bodhicitta motivation.
다 최고는 펜바도 이제 지강 도와제 기견의 기초제는 펜바도에 기자 말해. 아니 코라 파조부터 지금 도나요 도나 아니 간토도게 아니 지금 조명을 주는 펜바도에 좀 거로 와.
And again, with the gift of dharma, it's saying here that this doesn't have to be, a teaching from a throne, or the explanation of a text, or any kind of formality to it, and that we can, if the other person has any kind of interest in it, we can just simply introduce some of the Dharma topics in normal conversation, and in that way one can engage in the powerful karma of giving the gift of Dharma.
독바사기도나 배는 깨왕같이를 독바사기도나 깨왕같이 예배게 에너지 배 좀니 she did to pass to ye. But to pass ne, oh, that young yourself is nearby money by in there. Oh, Page chicken, yourself is on the top of Satuina. Don't you get to get on obey about it. 다른 식의 집에나 지가서래 랜드 거 랜드 예바만 오 랜드 매발다 이사마를 직전에 유스살 다서도 근데 똑같이 깨도 소와이나 된주가 태준 소도와이나 타바다 탐지케 봐오 직전에 유스살 다서서 좀생거나 산디가 손으로 말해 봤잖아 좀생거잖아 리베 좀잖아 예바 소도나 추기 말이야.
So even like using again logic and reasoning to help to maybe lessen or to eradicate doubts about things like past and future lives with people, to really explain the whole logic behind that, and to reach a point where they might even reach a point where, oh yeah, I can see the reasoning in what you're saying. It's certainly possible. And that's something which is actually very, very good for people. Or in relation to the law of cause and effect, again, using logic and reasoning to reach that they can reach a point of, doubt leaning towards the fact, and that they go, yeah, there's a lot of meaning in what you say. And this is something that can have a profound transformative effect on somebody's behavior. And that the whole possibility of attaining liberation or even enlightenment, to lay it out for them in a logical way, that if one is able to have these conversations with people, it's certainly giving the gift of Dharma.
Discussion.
And of course this can be a kind of a discussion with one's relatives, one's parents, one's friends, one's co-workers, and if they have an interest, of course, that's the key. If they have an interest, then we can have that conversation, and if so, it's certainly giving the gift of Dharma. And so it's not exclusively talking about Buddhism, but rather using logic and reasoning, and bringing forth the reasoning side of things.
What is it? And got donors led to a sort of way, no? Donors led to a son of social pay shibush good when it on a church, Momba Saber.
And so that's if they have the interest, and so we have the opportunity, then to engage in this gift of Dharma is very important, because it's eradicating confusion, eradicating ignorance.
So
it's not like kind of like proselytizing, and like the Christianity going on missionary work and so on, pushing.
Springvale. Oh
yeah, handing out books and leaflets like in Springvale, saying so
they are seeing me. They tied me.
They came directly over the he needs to be converted. Give him the leaflets. But not like that. You can use reasoning and logic to overcome such ignorance, if that's okay, if they're interested.
Then you can that then you're going to Tombasum de Socon as I kitty can't take a top chair somba namla, you check it there by Ken, that to get the Gangala, and Jumsa Samati, you may Jumsaka Samatan, and never Chen. Never Chen, and a day to an, you check it there by Ken, and a Gawa Chula Soba, Gawa, Tomone, Tujata, Gawa, Tomone, Tuja, Mikawa Chula Soba, Gawa, Tomone, and Gozo Gosumla, Maguba, and Landola Pepper Chigures, Pepper. Pepper jet to a shop, pepper chicken, pepper jet to a shop, jet over the target chicken, jet a gen over the lamale chicken lap to son, or so the chat what the chat.
And so then we think about these the ethics of refraining from the non-virtues, engaging in the virtuous paths of karma, and thinking about how things are more powerful in relation to these elements of karma, and then developing from that really the key is to develop conviction and the faith of conviction in saying this is valid and I will engage in this, and I will engage in the 10 virtuous paths and be conscientious about accumulating even very subtle virtues, and likewise be very vigilant about abandoning the 10 non-virtues, and even vigilant about really avoiding very subtle negativities, and that and in this way not have my mind, any of the 3 doors of my mind stained by any of these non-virtues. And wouldn't it be wonderful if I could live my life in this way? I will engage in this way. I pray that this may be so. Oh Guru Deity, please bless me to be able to make this so.
어디로 소리지? 다 간제 랑게 뒤로 소신세 소신 되게 되는가 야 뒤지. 다 간제 소신 되게 그가 야 뒤지네. 다 저 가서 날이 지나죠. 라마 되게 돼. 아니 소신고 저 라마 동안도 잘 파티. 아니 예용기 잠자야 되게 돼. 또 미가 가던 사만네. 아니 아니 가던 님아제 다 되게 돼. 그가 찍찍라테네. 아니 자지적이 사무대주 라마 대다 단자야. 아니 가서 잠자야 니라 판데 잠자야 니데 아니 가서 다다데라 가서데 조 아니 라마 통화도 잘 파티 근데 미네야 최종 수마다 야지라 지금 야체네 아니 되게데 야트는 담아들 다 같이 저 랑게 티제 자벨 라마데 티제 자벨 라마 되게데 자 최종고들 라마 되게데 대다 담자야 지를 지도 있잖아 아니 이게 가서데 조 라마 통화 라마 다 통화도 잘 가서 다다데 라마 샤제 통화 라마 가서 다시 샤자 생기라 파티 안다 라마샤야 생게티 아니 지볼 젠타네 다 간자 받으서 라마 다게 좋은 거는 지볼 젠타 다부 가서 니가 수가 때도 쉬어 산자 고마도 제소소 삼사자 다데 스데브 젠타 어디든지 제도바 다게 지게 대다지 못하 라마 두고 뭐 징길 랍도서 라마 지볼 라마 두고 뭐 꿀에 두세나가 메시지가 균반네 토마메바 디바다 답지 남자 단자 장시 다바 주스 키아바도야 미게 주보게 추좀 송알라 바도 주제게 디바디바다 마다네 미게 주보게 추좀 빼다고 송도가 차송 삼성 같은 고마시.
And so then from the merit field that we have in front, we kind of dissolve the merit field into the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara at the very center, starting with the gurus of the deities related to the lineages of the consecrated practices, all dissolving into the central figure, then the different Geluk lineages, and into the Kadampa lineages, into the lineages of the profound view and the extensive practices. They all dissolve into the central figures, or the main figures there of Manjushri and Maitreya respectively, and then they dissolve into the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara. And then in the space in front, starting at the bottom with the Dharma protectors, dissolving into each layer above until they dissolve into our own root guru and all of the gurus from whom we have received teachings and so on, resolving into our own guru, who then dissolves into the heart of the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara. So we're left with just one figure in the merit field, and then we invite the Buddha to our crown with the invocation verse, "O glorious and precious root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seat placed here on my crown, and keep me safe in your kindness. Bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind." 3 times. And the first time begins that journey. The second time he arrives at our crown, and with the third remains steadfast there. And from there then we make our supplication, "O Guru, Buddha, please bless me to be able to achieve all of what has been explained here." And from that the light rays emanate from the Guru on our crown, and it really permeate through our whole body and mind system, and they eradicate all obscurations and negativities that we have accumulated since beginningless time, and in particular any obstacles to our being able to really generate the realization of the ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues.
다 대다 대 도바 켜바지 계속 삼사 아니 대다 저 미게 주본 게 아니 추주 송와라 때네 아니 대주 대토 대주 대시 톱 대가서 남의 게된 게서 대 켜바지다 도고 남의 오다 주셔 단대죠 오다 대대전 딱 먼저 미게 주본 거 추주 남바다 뭐 손도에 아니 누가 켜바지 라셔 심지 탐지 길 중소서 어디는 공부시 어디 심바 제일 시작으로 어디죠.
And that as a result of being able to really perfect that training of ethical conduct of refraining from the 10 non-virtues, we have also all of the essential conducive conditions for being able to engage in proper spiritual practice, such as long life, good health, and increasing and expanding appreciation and understanding of the scriptural and realizational teachings.
어디를 공부시 어디를 시 그래 다 대샤 말해 대샤는 다 간제 저 아니 어디를 시 아니 되네 다 간제 저 다들 랑이 있는데 엄마 답제를 주소 삼사체 엄마 답제체 다 어디 대대는 누마다 다베 대체 대체 다들 받자가 라마를 다기 니가 배면 그래 고소도 모두 자도서 답을거서 아니 저 니베가서 수배고 땡션 산제 고마마도 받자 제수 송수 어디를 공부시.
And so that we then leave it there for today. Continue with our visualization, with our own heart center, with the upturned 8-petaled lotus, and then with including a moon and sun disc, a mandala seat at our heart center. And then we make the invitation to the Guru on our crown. O glorious and precious root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seat placed here at my heart. Keep me safe in your kindness. Bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech and mind. Again, reciting that 3 times, with the first beginning that journey down through our crown, in through our central channel, the second arriving at the seat we have prepared, and the third with that certainty that the Buddha will remain steadfast until we attain ourselves the state of enlightenment.
어디 야부시 중소다 어디를 쨌든 때는 랑이 니데 때마다 데데 마인데스 남도 밍닝 내다지네 아니 이 도와달라는 도지 제가지 어디를 째지 아니 때는 아니 가서 양세기 이게 딱가져 고마 이 오리리요 아마서 어머카가 서다더러 여러 샤가 사서 오메 예다마 예더러 다다가 뭔가 샤만에서 데데가라서 어디데 코니 이주디가 코아전 어디 내서서 딱가져 산제가 고마마도 랑이 니기 위해서 아니 제가 가서다 라바샤자 내서 삼사지 아니 텔레비에 세트는 랑이 류트네 다 강티가 봐 외트네 아니 제가 랑이 최주베게는 개개 용조세네 다 류기나게 자다 롱다 되게 딱까 냠바 수 아니 어다 되게 제 수네 딱까지 되게 배 지금 또밖에 봐 뉴텐 종소 삼사 어디를 계획되게 봤어요 소 삼사 어디를 공부하시 어디를 공부하시 어디를
And that, and so then the petals fold over the figure of the Buddha at our heart center, and that is sealed at the top by a semi-vajra, and then it is circled by the Sanskrit vowels going in a clockwise direction, the Sanskrit consonants in an anti-clockwise direction, and the mantra of dependent origination again in a clockwise direction. So from within that sealed lotus at our heart center, light rays emanate, powerful light rays emanate, which permeate through every cell of our bodies, and they completely eradicate all of our negativities of body, speech and mind, going into even the subtle negativities related to the channels and drops and of our body as well, so that we remain we end completely clear, have this certainty.
다디 가서도 산제가 고마 마도 없다 랑이 니고 위에다 랑이 랑 젠젠다 단지 마리바 바차다 제발 딱까지 마 장토가 야고 중소 상사체.
And so that this will remain like this until we attain enlightenment. How wonderful that all of the self-cherishing and self-grasping along with their imprints have been completely purified.
There's a social shido to long the language and Lama Shajas and good language, social lude, Lama Shajas and good juice, such.
And then through the combination of our own most subtle wind acting as the substantial cause together with the body of the Buddha, our own body transforms into the enlightened body of a Buddha.
Social shido travel and the same in language, Lama Shajas and two the language, social same the Lama Shajas and two juice, some such.
And then through the combination of our own most subtle mind acting as the substantial cause with the mind of the Buddha, our own mind transforms into the enlightened mind of a Buddha. And then that now my body, speech and mind are inseparable from the body, speech and mind of the Buddha. And so that this is something which is, doesn't exist in the way it appears. And from that arises some bliss which produces the notion of voidness, and we abide in the wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness. And then that the place in which we are transforms into the enlightened palace of a Buddha. And the place and the actions and the body are now inseparable from the actions and body of a Buddha. And objects of use as well, enlightened. So this is really the case for us. We meditate in this way. And then from our own heart center as a fully enlightened Buddha, we send out countless rays of light equal in number to all the Buddhas, all the sentient beings of all the three realms of existence, entering into their crowns and streaming through their bodies, eradicating all negativities and obscurations until they themselves attain the state of enlightenment. And that the places in which they are living also transform into the palatial enlightened palaces of Buddhas. And that they are again not existing in the way they appear. And today I have attained the objective of bringing all sentient beings to that state of enlightenment. How wonderful that is, I rejoice. But even though I know that this is all happening on the basis of my own imagination now, I make a strong dedication that it will quickly be made absolutely real and manifesting as quickly as possible. We'll do our Lamrim prayer. From my two collections, fastest says that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I hold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. with my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.